So I'm currently stuck in a whole heap of traffic, and I thought instead of just sitting here doing nothing, I might as well try and deliver some kind of value or do some form of content. So let me just jump on and share a few points. So something that has been top of mind for me recently has been the fact that a lot of people often spend a ton of time thinking about all of the reasons why they can't do something. And in this example, a lot of people want to start a business, they want to own a business, run a business, but feel like they either don't know where to start, don't have the time to do it, or don't have the money. So I really wanted to touch on those three things and just give my personal perspective and almost talk off the top of my head about my own experiences going through those things. So the first thing is not knowing where to start. And it's always an interesting one because people say that they want a business, but they just don't know really where to go with it. And what I'd say is there's almost a couple of things to really do in that example. The first thing is to look to other people who have achieved what you want to achieve, ask them how they've done it or study how they've done it, and seek to take the key lessons and the learnings from them and then try and replicate, but replicate with your own style and your own kind of sense of authenticity. And ultimately just go out to the market, right? Start putting it out there, getting a feeler for it, getting feedback, and then refine and go again. I've found that I've launched a number of different business ventures where I've thought I knew the right way to do it, or I sought to get advice, but the only real way that I learned was once I launched it, got advice from people, and then be very quick to pivot and adjust the business to have better results with an audience. So if you're in a position where you're stuck, that's the first thing I'd say. The second thing is to make sure that you spend time on thinking about a target market for what it is that you want to sell. What's your target market? What's their clear pain points and challenges? Where can you add the most value? And then what product or offer can you put together to help solve those challenges or really add value to that market? So really think about, as I say, your target market, who you can target, you know, the demographics, the age range, the race, background, whatever the case is. You know, what space do you want to occupy? And then how can you solve real challenges or add significant value through a product or an offering or a service that you can bring to market? So the second thing is time. So I don't have enough time, I can't find the time, something that comes up all the time. The reality is that anything that you prioritize in your life, you will find time to do. And so it's taking a decision on, is success, achieving your dreams, your aspirations, earning more money, all of these kind of things, are they worth a time investment to you? And if they're not, you probably just don't really want it bad enough. You probably just don't really want to own and run a business bad enough. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, you've got to almost be honest with yourself. Either you want it enough to the extent where you're going to put the time, the effort and the energy into it, or you just don't want it enough and you're not going to go for it. And there's not a right or wrong answer, but you can't be the person in the middle of the two. You can't say you want it, but you're not going to prioritize enough around your day to be able to make it happen. So I'd almost say take a decision and stick with the decision. Sorry, I got distracted. And the last thing is money. So not having enough money, not being in a position where you can access the finances and a resource. And this is a real challenge. I get it. I understand it. I've been there myself. But again, the reality is that if you have enough trust and confidence in what it is that you want to bring to the market and you're really solving a problem or adding value, it's all about, are you going to get a return on your investment? So instead of always thinking about the cost of something and how much is going to drag down your wallet or your purse, think about, am I going to get a return based on what I'm putting in? So if I'm investing £1,000 or $1,000, what's the ROI and when am I going to look to get a return? So I never think about cost. What does something cost me? I look at, well, where's the return? When am I going to be able to deliver a return? And how much confidence do I have in my ability to get a return based on the investment that I'm putting in? Money is something that you can always attain, and you know, your relationship with it is really, really important. And what I'd ultimately say is that you've got to remember that if you bring something to the market that is valuable, you're going to be able to get a return. The second strand to that is to really think about service-based businesses and online-based businesses, because those two, a service-based business typically has almost no startup costs because you're packaging expertise and bringing that and reselling that to the market. online businesses often have pretty low startup costs depending on what type of online business you're bringing to the market, but they can also be really effective in delivering a return because they sit online, they're scalable, and it just comes down to having a good marketing plan so that when you put it out there, you generate enough sales to get your money back. So those two businesses work really well, service-based, especially if you have no money at all to invest, and online if you're happy to make a return that can scale and sustain over time. So those are just a few top of mind thoughts. Of course, I do a ton of this work with people who aspire to either start, build, and scale online businesses, service-based businesses too. So if you'd like to discuss any of this, feel free to just drop me a DM, drop me a message, or visit any of the links that I leave in the description, and I'll be more than happy to discuss you and your situation in a little bit more detail. So hope that's been helpful in some way, and I hope that I get out of this traffic jam sometime soon. I'll speak to you all soon.